Well, hello. Really excited to talk about this video because I've been reflecting upon why I get high, why we as a culture like to be elevated and lifted and everything like that. Why do we get high? Why do we search for these experiences? And what can we do that can emulate a drug experience, that can be something similar? So I realized if you take the elements of what a drug gives you, if you see that in a clear light, just absolutely what it is. Getting high, kind of feel elevated. You feel lifted. You feel, I think a big thing, more at ease with a lot of these substances, at least with relation to our life. You know, we can, from the sober state of being bombarded by this life, we get high and feel a little bit, the space between our molecules are a little bit more vast, and I can breathe a little bit more. There's some fucking space in my mind, god damn it. Right? If you take the elements of what the highness gives you, and you search for that element outside the drug experience, a certain way of life, a certain practice, or exercise, we can find things to do that emulate the high experience very, 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 very similarly. Now, I'm not very familiar with like amphetamine style highs or heroin style highs. I'm more stick to psychedelic experiences, things that challenge my psychology, and in effect, I get to explore my psychology, adventure around in the consciousness of being a human. You know, that thing. What helps me with certain drugs like cannabis or LSD or mushrooms, the thing that helps me a lot, the thing that helps me explore my psychology, which just might be something different. You know, you might want to avoid pain, or maybe you're using a psychedelic to get work done, or you're using an amphetamine to get work done. Different stuff for different people. However, again, there's exercises that we can do that help us be relaxed, be more attentive, feel more at ease. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things to do that can help us feel those things. So if you take that as truth and as respect, and if you actually respect that basic nature, that we can form an element of our experience through the activity and attention of what we desire, if we move with an action towards what we desire, we can create an effect for ourselves. So again, thousands of years old. Meditation is something, if you're a psychonaut, you might really, really, really find enjoyment in sitting still, relaxing your body, getting your mind to relax the body. Literally tell every fucking cell in your body, I'm fucking serious. I'm serious here. Your foot, your leg, your thigh, whatever. If you can get yourself to relax, all of your body's energy and your conscious attention can be put into your psychology, into your consciousness, whatever it is, this vast, complicated, complex thing. I can get to states of psychological introspection with meditation. And some of the most, what I would call psychedelic experience in my life have been from meditation. So with this video, I'm to not use a drug and still get an effect. Unfortunately, it takes some fucking activity from yourself. It doesn't just take sitting down and eating something or smoking something. It actually takes some action. Now, positively compounding, action actually helps you exercise and further integrate the activity into your body as being something normal. So the more you do something, the more normal it becomes for the body. Tolerance. It's fucking tolerance. But tolerance in another light is like creation of a new state. So if you create a new state that is more at ease through meditative practices, through stretching practices, through yogic practices, through free-flowing body exercises, just give yourself 30 minutes and be like a psychedelic maniac. Like literally, if you were on mushrooms or LSD, create that space that you would want for that experience, and then act like how you would act on that experience. With my own personal tendencies, I tend to feel more open, more inviting of my psychology, more inviting of connecting things in different ways. That's a difficult thing to emulate, because there's literally like our brain is firing differently with those chemicals. But giving yourself the space by the nature of actively setting up your brain and setting up your physicality to change, it's literally inviting your intuition, which is one of the most powerful things that we have as imaginators and as creators. Where does fucking imagination come from? Where does creativity come from? It's fucking slippery, So if you even just get yourself to start the process, your body will start to reorganize and recognize and recreate your preference. Activity grows. Activity fucking grows. You can become a new normal. Your normal can be more at ease. Your normal can be more open to ideas. Maybe something with psychonauts is like we just like to have a fucking open mind about some things, In the process of like realizing ourselves. I think a lot of times people go to psychedelics because it opens our minds and we can see something, we can make sense of it from an absolutely different perspective, from something that feels absolutely different, but it makes sense. And that feels connecting. Because something that which doesn't seem entirely us, that perspective, now feels like it's part of us. We literally exist an understanding and a knowing from a different point of view, Now the thing is, if you clear your head, if you get rid of all the garbage flow that everybody has from day-to-day life living in modern 21st fucking century, especially in the cities of life, where you're far from nature, where you're far from silence, where you're far from absolute darkness, where you're literally farther from the experience of yourself in a purely raw way. When you're in that state, when you're in that place, it's more difficult to find who you are. You got to work through all that garbage. There's a lot of garbage in these streets, man. Humans are messy, So meditation can get you to a place where you don't have these flows of what seems to be just unconnected nonsense, kind of like the search, the feed of your scrolling social medias, right? That's just a feed of what? Really feel how that affects you. To me, I get fed off of this randomness. Oh, wow, that's something I've never seen before. Ooh, something did that, they did that. But that's everybody else. Like, literally, everybody else is not yourself. You're going to fucking realize something new, and that's great and dandy, and we get addicted to everything because humans are fucking awesome, and everybody knows that. But what else is that, Distraction. Fucking try going to sleep after scrolling on your fucking Instagram for like 30 minutes. Try not having a random fucking thought after scrolling on social media. It's a mess. Our minds are not meant to be a mess. Let's be real here. Let's be strong. Our minds don't need to be a chaotic mess. We can create a situation for ourselves where our mind can be like a focus. When we have psychedelic experiences, I think a lot of us like that focus. None of this other shit bothers us for a minute. Look at how absolutely beautiful that is. And beauty comes from meaning. It comes from relation. It comes from something that we know. A lot of times it's naturally related. Doesn't it make sense that it would have to be related naturally? Don't we see beauty as something that's naturally impactful, related to the physics of my nature and that nature outside? You can get there, man. I don't know where I was tangenting with that, but you can get there by being at peace with yourself. And now these are what all the fucking yogis say, all the gurus, all the monks. I think, they take it to an extreme that also limits them in some ways too, for sure. Everybody has their place. But their techniques have been developed over years, hundreds, thousands of years. How to reverse. That is the Eastern way, you know. Think about the Western religions. The gods are outside. The Eastern religions, the gods are inside. The gods are part of us. We are with the gods. And how do we get there? Realize who you are. Direct your energy. Align with your preferences. And take absolute respectful actions in the direction of your most beautiful dreams. Action, action, action is key, you know. The human condition is very complicated on this planet, and it doesn't help to just further complicate things by avoiding, by going through cycles of taking a drug to avoid some things, when it just comes back the next day and hits you right in the face with even more power. You know what? If you just... weird things happen when you start doing things. Regardless of judgment, have no judgment. You know, if you can get your mind in a meditative place where you just experience the stream of your day without judgment, you just let it be. You can start using that kind of gaze and that kind of phase, that way of existence inside yourself. You can use that to be very precise about what you want for your body. And therefore your body has a more absolute knowing of how to reconfigure itself to further support the in alignment with the self, with your preference. So if you go into an experience, let's say you want to be at ease. Now, this is a furthering part of the video that many people probably aren't even watching anymore. This might be important though. If you get your mind to be clear, unjudged, if you want to experience something, you can get yourself to experience it, okay? No judgment, because here's the thing, if you're judging something, you're experiencing the judgment of it. You're not actually experiencing the thing. So if you do something and you judge it the whole time, you're actually really far away from what you're doing, you know? That's a danger about being mental, is you're actually really far away from your experience. Hey, mental note, that's interesting, that's weird, this and that. Well, you're experiencing that judgment. It's limited, it's secluded, it's, subjective. Here's the thing. If you can get yourself to be clear in your mind, no judgment, try this. Like a psychedelic experience. Set up your room. Like I like to do is I like to put comfy shit all over the floor. So if I want to, I can just roll around and feel whatever I need to feel, whatever I want. Love, whatever. If you imagine this. Now a lot of people have resistance to this in a sober state. And if you watch the Wild Wild Country, Wild Wild West or something with the Osho fucking series on Netflix. I'm not too familiar with this shit, but I've watched a few episodes. A lot of people think that they were crazy by making animalistic noises and and like expressing themselves very, very animalistically. A lot of people think that's weird. But in actuality, they were experiencing what it is to be an animal, what it is to be a human, and not only an animal. We have this conception that animals are dirty, but we're fucking disgusting too. Let's be real, Disgusting. Look at a fucking landfill, bro. Go out there. That's disgusting. Anyways, we're animals. Anyways, roll around. Let's say you want some ease in your life. Just be like, now it kind of looks like I'm tripping, right? Like, fucking do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I almost want to cry just because we can't do whatever the fuck we want. There's, like, judgment. Everybody's like, makes me feel uncomfortable. But that's where growth is. Growth is past that uncomfortable boundary, A lot of people don't ever push it. A lot of people don't ever know, and they become this fucking thing that's like, I wish I would have done that in life. Wish I would have grew my potential. It's sad. It's actually sad. You know, this is a dense human condition that we're in. We can't even fucking roll around and be goofy. If you want to experience goofy, if you want to experience that thing, you can get yourself to experience it. If you experience the judgment of that thing, you're not experiencing the thing, you're experiencing the judgment. That's an important thing to discern. So this video as a collection, I'm trying to open up the possibility for people to see. And again, this is a reflection for myself. It's something that's helping me ingrain things within myself too. Fucking trains, bro. There's possibility. There's always possibility. In life, in general, life is what you can imagine it to be. We experience that space that we give ourselves. If we can't imagine, how do you feel? Imagine this. Imagine not imagining. Dissociation, nothingness, almost, I don't know what this is. Limited, stuck. I think opening ourselves up to the truth of that what you are actually filtering is not the thing, but your experience of the thing. You're filtering all of life through your unique perspective. And you can train your existence to manipulate your perspective, to inject yourself into the experience of life in such a way where you're literally experiencing it to such an extent that it grows your perspective maybe, or it shifts your perspective. I like to think of life as this thing. As part of all of us, life is, let's just say, this figure. It's this thing. Whether it's a person, a place, a trip, a literal physical trip, psychedelic trip, or physical trip. It is this thing. Now everyone is like sitting around it at a slightly different perspective. Therefore, I see this thing as a certain figure. This person next to me sees this thing with a shifted perspective. Everybody has a slightly different shifted perspective. What we experience is not that thing, but we experience that thing filtered through our thing. All we know is the experience. We don't know that thing. We don't know anything out here in absolutism. All we know is this experience. And the experience is made up of sensibilities, sensitive organs, and brain connections, and then frequencies being emitted from the heart and from the brain, and this vast energetic connection that we feel. Life is not an excuse. Everything you have inside yourself is your decision. And a lot of people don't realize that, even in the most troubling situations. That is just a figure that you are experiencing. And you're only experiencing one perspective upon this figure that which you call your life. So again, there's a lot of things you can do with that space, that respect of the separation. And this is a very egoic situation, I think. To respect life, you gotta respect your boundaries. Your own boundaries and the boundaries of other things and how they tickle. How our sensitive organs and the projections of the other thing, how they intermingle. That is our life. That intermingling between the form, the figure, and the complicated experience of life as a whole, and our intermingling of the only things that we know, the feeling, the experience of life. That's the only thing we know, is this thing right here. So we're like touching life, tickling it, poking it, moving the vase to see such a different face upon life. These things, knowing that kind of situation, upon your life gives you the opportunity to manipulate it and not just be the painful result of everything that's happening around you. I say it musically like that because a lot of people feel down when they feel like everything just swirling around them, and they don't know how to I don't know how to, how do I even get away from that? It's difficult. It is absolutely difficult. The only reason I have that perspective of seeing experience as a figure with infinite amounts of perspectives upon it, I've been through it. I get it. Everybody has something in life. Everybody has something. And if you just listen to it, if you just look at this figure, this existence that which you are, the thing that which you can sense, whatever it is, this life, it becomes your responsibility. Excuses, no more. Your responsibility. If you want to experience something, it is up to you. And if you get in your own way, that's you, bro. Let's fold this shirt and frisbee it on out of here. Man, I got passionate there at the end. I really like that, And that's why I like these kind of videos, is because if only one person's watching it at this time and they just happen to get value from it, hit that like button. No, but seriously, I'm just going to start saying that more often. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you have any experiences with this formable, manipulatable experience of life that which we all are just tickling with, sometimes painfully, sometimes intensely. And sometimes it's just a little, what the fuck was that? Anyways, if you found this video helpful, or it helped you expand your life or open up your mind a certain way, and you want to give back, Patreon or PayPal, links in the description, really, really, really do help. There's years and years of my life that go into these videos. Lots and lots of respectful reflection and exploration, experimentation, which involves taking risks, and being a part of the natural consequence that is taking a drug, trying out a meditation experience for the first time. I've put a lot of work into what I do. I may not edit videos like crazy, but I do put a lot of work into what I do. So if you want to share in return, of course, PayPal and Patreon are the routes. And once again, I don't know how to end videos. If we could be talking in a room, it would be like, hey, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Whatever. Like, let's fucking keep talking about something, or let's just chill the fuck out. Because that's what I'm probably going to do, is just relax for a minute. Everything like this is weird. Everything's weird. Do you know what acting is? Do you really fucking understand the beauty of acting? Human experience is relatable. It has an impact. So if I want to go like this, I'm transforming a feeling from me to you, because what the fuck this is and how fucking goofy it is. This is a certain kind of character. Ah! Relation. Everything in life is a relationship. And if you think that relationship's only one thing between a man and fucking woman, or a man and man, woman, woman, or this and that, we have relations with everything in life. Everything you touch, everything you hear relates to us, through us, with us, subjectively, and upon this great, grandiose experience of life. Yes. Okay, now it's the end. For fuck's sake, mate. It's the end. Yeah. Ugh. Everything's glitching at this point. Peace.